It's going to be a very, very intense journey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 170 of the Skip podcast. I am Andie Eller, and I'm joined on this beautiful, beautiful March day by the one and only George from Shortbox Summary. What's going on, George?
Not a whole heck of a lot, Austin. What's going on with you? I was starting to forget what your face looked like, man. It's good to see you.
I know, it's been a while. So, yeah, I've been looking forward to recording again with you guys, and just you and I today, but as always, good to catch up, and certainly a lot's been going on in my life. A little bit of work stuff going on here and there, and just games that have come out, too many to keep up with. So do you feel like this spring in particular, maybe it's just because there's been a lot of interest, particularly to me, do you feel like the spring has been nuts when it comes to game releases?
Not especially. Like, there's a bunch of games that I feel like I should be playing, but I have been fighting every urge. You know, when you're like, I want to eat Cheez-Its, but I'm not hungry. You know, like that feeling?
Yes.
Like, I've had the maturity to be like, I don't need Cheez-Its right now. Like, I almost bought Pocopia, and I'm like, dude, you're in the middle of Leaf Green. Don't do it. I almost bought the Avowed remaster. I'm like, you haven't even finished Oblivion, dude. Like, there's just so many things that, like, in years past, I would have snap bought on day one. And I would have dumped, like, 10 to 12 hours and then never touched it ever again. So I'm trying to have the foresight and understand that, like, you got a little too much on your plate right now. Don't do it.
So I'd love to say I have the same, like, resolve as you, but I don't. And so I bought Resident Evil 9 and then bought Pocopia as well, and am going to buy Monster Hunter Stories 3, like, probably within the next few days or hours, potentially. So I guess I'll just die, like, from a being able to play all these and from a wallet standpoint.
Well, I realized within, like, probably like a 9-month period, I bought a Switch Lite, I bought a Steam Deck, I bought a Switch 2, and I bought, like, an Anbernic little handheld device. And I'm like, bro, you only have 2 fucking hands. Like, why are you buying so many handhelds? Yeah. So because of that, I've been trying to be a bit more judicious in how I spend my money. I bought Leaf Green, and I played it on Switch 2, and I thought it looked like shit on Switch 2 because it takes up almost the entire screen. And I immediately brought it back down to my Switch Lite, and I've been playing it there, and I put like 6 hours into it yesterday. And, like, it feels right. Like, that game in particular feels like a handheld game, and Switch Lite, I think, is the best handheld Nintendo's released.
I wish I had bought one. Like, years. I'm sure they're still floating around out there, I would imagine.
My sister just snagged one for like $100 on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. Like, the stores have raised the prices, but if you're comfortable buying a used console, like, they are going cheaper from real people.
That's the only one I never owned. That's the only Switch model I never owned. I owned the original, the upgraded battery one, and then the OLED. But there's something about that. It's more functional, but there's something about the Switch Lite that's very, like, Game Boy Advance Micro to me. Like, same energy.
Yeah, no, you're 1,000% right. And, like, look, got it right here. It's just so nice having a D-pad. Like, I hate to sound like a baby, but playing Pokemon with a D-pad just feels better than not playing it with a D-pad.
Yeah. Nice.
It was so big on Switch too. Like, it's a big, beautiful screen, and, like, everything was bright, but, like, something just felt off. And then the second I brought it down to a smaller screen, it was just, it felt more at home. And so Switch 2 is great. I bought Mini Shoot Adventures because of how happy everyone on Nintendo Voice Chat was when they were talking about it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm excited to play that on Switch 2, but something about this pixel art, it just is screamed inappropriate.
That game looks really good, that Mini Shoot. I didn't know a whole lot about it until, same thing as you, I listened to Nintendo Voice Chat, and they were very high on it, so I want to get it at some point. It looks really good. But before we talk about, I guess, games we've been playing, I know you mentioned Pokemon a little bit, but I just want to say that this is my little random side story of the week. I have been taming animals of my own in real life
Oh,
this past couple weeks, not in Pokemon. And when I say that, I mean there are 2 squirrels living in my attic, and they will not
okay.
leave. They will not
Oh
leave.
no.
So
Oh
I've
no.
called out our pest control service multiple times, and the squirrels keep making more holes. And a few days ago, I bought a $200 industrial strobe light that is called the Evictor. That is apparently supposed to be like the best thing to get rid of squirrels in your attic because it strobes them to the point of insanity to where they'll leave. So far that
Okay.
has not happened, but they are up there and they're being strobed right now. So that's what's been
They're
going on with me.
s- squirrels, not chipmunks. So like I'm assuming they're relatively big.
Yes, they are large. They are
So
large, and I have them
so
on
you can't
camera, and I've seen them up
can't
there
just
in
can't
person.
just leave your cat up there. Okay.
No, no. And I thought about that, but I was like, well, there's also insulation up there, and
Sure.
yeah, but yeah. So that's what I've been dealing with, and I've been sleeping terrible because I wake up in the middle of my night, which is 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and hear scratching sounds above my head. So yeah.
I'm sorry, man. It's a stupid problem to have. I'm really sorry.
It is. It is. So we'll see. We'll see if the strobe works. It is like the brightest light I've ever seen in my life. And
Mhm.
supposedly, seriously, like I did all this research. Everyone says if they're, you can't get them out, they just will not leave, or squirrels keep coming back. This thing, literally, apparently, they just hate constantly being disoriented by a strobe light going
Yeah,
off
that's
nonstop.
so
So you leave it
funny.
on 24/7.
It's so funny that like to get them out, you have to turn your attic into like a German nightclub and give them seizures until they leave.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Yes. I should, you know what I should do? I should just play that one episode of Pokemon that aired like in the late 90s that made a bunch
oh,
of
the,
kids
the
have seizures.
Porygon, yeah,
Yes.
the Porygon one, yeah.
I should just play that on loop up there. Maybe that'll make them leave. So that's my fun side adventure to bring up. But uh George, before we get into games we've been playing, is there a fun side adventure you'd like to bring up, or should we talk about Pokemon?
Um, yeah, I actually started writing for a website since the last time I was on this show.
Ah,
There's a comic book website that I loved called AIPT Comics. It was short for Adventures in Poor Taste, and now they just
nice.
go by AIPT. And I realized that that was like the comic site I was checking every day, and I saw they were looking for writers, so I submitted some samples, and now I've been reviewing comic books for them for like the last month or so. I've
Oh,
got done
hell
like
yeah.
15.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been super cool and super fun. I'm trying to think of more non-review material I could submit for them, but it's 2026. That is a 20-year anniversary for Civil War, for Infinite Crisis, for a bunch of big stories that came from Marvel that kind of shaped me as a comic book reader. So, if you're looking for thoughts on new releases for comic books, go check out AIPT Comics, and you might see some of my work.
That's amazing, George. That's awesome. I actually did not know that. So
Yeah,
you're breaking the news to me as well as the listeners. So I'll have to go check it out. That's really cool.
yeah.
So nice. Well, yeah, go check that out. Is it? Did you say the website? Did you already give it? What?
AIPTcomics.com.
Okay, there we go. So go check that out for George's new work. Very cool. George, Pokemon. Let's talk about it. So you referenced it a little bit. What do you think of? Did you say Leaf Green? You're playing?
Leaf Green. I
Okay.
grabbed Leaf Green. I wasn't gonna buy this game out of protest because I think $20 for a GBA ROM is frankly fucking preposterous.
Yeah.
And then I had a buddy who texted me, is just like, so theoretically, if you were to get one, which one would you get? I was like, well, I'm not planning on getting it. He's like, yeah, I know, but which one would you get? I was like, probably Leaf Green since I played Fire Red back when it came out. He's just like, okay, I just bought Fire Red, and then it felt like the ball was in my court, and then I got home and immediately bought Leaf Green. And like I sat there like agonizing over which Pokemon I was gonna choose for like 20 minutes. And then I picked Charmander, and then I didn't touch the game for 3 days. And then something clicked in the past few days, like probably since like Wednesday. We're recording on a Saturday, and I put like 16 hours into the game since,
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm obsessed with it again. I'm at my favorite part of the game, like the middle, where like I think the beginning is really fucking boring, like the Brock and the Mount Moon and leveling up all your shit because Misty is a little overpowered, if you ask me, especially if you pick Charmander. Um, so I spent a long time just like level grinding, getting my Pikachu up, getting a Bellsprout up, which I never planned on using ever again. And yeah, now I'm kind of steamrolling everything. I just got the rainbow badge from Celadon City, like I beat Erica. And this is my favorite part of the game. I'm going through Lavender Town, like the tower right now, and looking at all these ghosties, and it's so much fun, man. Like, I don't know if it's the fact that it's like non-handholdy. I've like refused to look up a guide for this game because like I beat this as an 8-year-old. I should be able to beat this, or I beat like blue and red and yellow as an 8-year-old. I should be able to beat this as a 35-year-old. And like I totally forgot where you get Flash, so then I just had to like scour and talk to every person in the game, and I finally found Flash. And then I was able to make it through the rock tunnel, and it's just really amazing how big this game feels despite how small it really is. And I'm just so impressed, and I miss games like this. I'm not saying I think the new Pokemon games are bad. I actually think they're very good. But just the sense of mystery, wonder, excitement, and just like the scope of it, I think is so impressive that it ran on the original Game Boy.
So I know, obviously, I mean, you've already mentioned you played the original. Have you played Fire Red and Leaf Green specifically before? Or?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I ended up buying them when I was in college because I got Pokemon Platinum and I bought a DS Lite off a friend. And so once I learned you could import from GBA, then I went back and I played Fire Red, Leaf Green. I found like Sapphire and Ruby and Emerald and did all that shit and just imported them. So like I had a really not like complete Pokemon Platinum, but like I put a lot of hours in, you know.
Nice.
But it's so nice going back, man. It's so nice. And the middle of the game is just so meaty and fun and fast.
So I think I'm coming around on it a little bit. Like at first when they announced it, I was like the same as you. I was like $20 really for this GBA ROM.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of ridiculous, and it still is ridiculous. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there is something to this. Like playing this on Nintendo hardware, being able to transfer your Pokemon up to Pokemon Home, and unlike you, I never actually played Fire Red and Leaf Green, so it would be a new experience to me. Whenever I do play it now, I don't know when that'll be, but I think at some point I probably will pick them up. However, I guess I'm a little concerned. The same thing you brought up a few minutes ago, which is that like I'm wondering how I'm going to feel about playing this game on the Switch 2. I don't have the Switch Lite. I still have my Switch OLED, so a little smaller. But I'm wondering like if I'm actually going to enjoy that experience blown up. And certainly like I cannot see myself playing this on a TV docked.
I played a bunch of it on TV just because I had like the GBA player on my GameCube. Like for the longest time I thought I just want this on my TV, and then I realized like I couldn't watch TV and play Pokemon, which is how I played Pokemon my entire life. Just like watching Gundam Wing tapes while playing through Pokemon Silver or whatever. Handheld is definitely the way to play. I thought it looked weird. Have you played any other like? Have you played any of like the NES games on your Switch too?
Like the Nintendo Online, yeah,
and it just like it looks like a little like blown out.
Yeah. Something
that's the
has always looked a little off.
I don't know. Like the part honestly that like disappoints me the most is like that this was just a port. And it's not that like I wanted them to remaster it because like frankly they don't have to. Like they did Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or in Eevee, right? Like that is this fucking game just made to run on a Switch and like with modern sensibilities. And like that's fine everything, but I'm like, how could you not like adjust like the screen size on this? Like how is that not an option in 2026? And so like that's the part that like bums me out. And like I feel like you get more control over stuff when it's in the virtual library.
You definitely do. And there's like different like visual settings you can change, and I know
you can add like a CRT flicker, right? Can't you?
Yeah. So, and I know it's not like ideal for Pokemon. I know they're trying to avoid like breaking the game, but it also has save states and like I think it
Yeah.
has the rewind and fast forward feature, which again, like I can understand them not wanting that in Pokemon, but still, yeah, there are certainly more features on the Nintendo online apps than straight up on a $20 standalone GBA ROM. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. I'll definitely play it eventually though, just to kind of have that experience and get through it. But um, nice. Anything else you've been up to? Anything you've been playing, reading?
I've been playing a bunch of smaller games recently, actually. I played Thank Goodness You're Here, and I had never heard of this game before. I saw some Japanese dev quote tweeted on Twitter saying that like this was his game of the year. And I checked it out. It is so fucking weird. I loved every second of it. It's a game where you're like a journalist and you go to this like podunk hole in the wall town and you're waiting for the mayor. And so like while you're waiting to talk to the mayor, you just like get bored and leave. And then you
Oh
go,
my god!
everyone has a problem and you just have to help them solve their problem. And it is so disgusting, it is so gross, it is so funny. It really feels like you're playing an Adult Swim cartoon. And I got this game technically for free because I'm on like a higher tier of PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
And it, like I laughed out loud so many times during this game. It is so like filthy, not in like a sexy way, just filthy and like a holy shit. Like I couldn't explain half of what happens in this game to my mom because she would just like make a face and be like, why did you
Oh
say
my
that
god!
arrangement of words to me? I cannot recommend it enough. It is maybe like a 3 hour game all told, and
Wow.
the platinum is super easy to get. But thank goodness you're here. I genuinely cannot recommend that game enough. I think I platted Vampire Survivors since the last time we talked, and I think
Nice.
that is like a top 10 game of all time. Like I think that game is
It's
borderline
excellent.
perfect. Yeah. And I'm getting to the point where I'm like, should I just buy this on my Steam Deck and just play it there
I have
too,
it.
or should I get it on Switch and just like 100% this on
Yeah,
every
dude.
console I have?
It's so cheap. It's almost like that kind of feels like the new Skyrim to me of
Yeah,
just own it on everything because you can.
yeah, might
So,
as well.
yeah, I think I have it on. I know I've got it on PS5. I have it on Switch. I've got it on PC, and I mean it's free, but I have the mobile like version installed on my phone. So,
I think I talked about this before. I thought that game was dog shit because I played it on my phone, and like that was where I
yeah,
first heard about it. Was like people talking about it on Apple Arcade. I'm like, this game sucks, man. Like you can't do anything. And then the second you get a joystick, I'm just like, oh, this is
yeah.
the shit. Like this is incredible.
Did you
Um,
play the DLC?
I played a bunch of it. Yeah.
Okay,
There's like some adventure mode stuff that I haven't done yet. I've done a lot of them, but not all of them. I think I'm missing like like 4 packs is like I
okay.
haven't 100% of that, but like I did the other
And
7.
am I misremembering? It does have Castlevania DLC now, right? Or am I
It
thinking of
does. That
something
is
else?
actually
Okay,
some it that is some of the shit I haven't actually touched yet. So I'm
nice.
excited. Any excuse to like jump back into the problem is like a bunch of that DLC stuff is not multiplayer, which is a bummer to me because
I didn't know that.
I play that with friends a lot. Um,
Yeah, Andy and I played a ton of it, like split screen together. I didn't realize some of the DLC was limited, like in that way.
I'm pretty sure some of it is limited. Don't hold
Wow.
me to that. I've tried to, and like, granted, I could have just been tired and not
Sure.
able to make it work. But I thought some of it you weren't able to play. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, last game I want to talk about. If you like
Uh,
Shredder's Revenge, grab this game. It has like the tag-in feature, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2,
hmm
where you basically select 2 heroes per mission, and then you can just swap back and forth between them at any point. Art style is great, story's great, where you're just fighting a nihilist who brought the invasion wave to Earth, and it's just super fun. Love that game.
Yeah, I was excited for you to talk about that. I feel like I haven't heard many people bring it up since it came out. I mean, I know it got a little bit of a bump like upon release, but it doesn't seem to have
Yeah,
stuck around quite as long, like in the market mind share as I thought it would, just because it's got a really cool concept. I haven't played it yet,
it it released at a
but
weird time. Like it was like
it did.
mid December, I want to say.
Yeah. Um, That's another one that like I definitely want to play soon. I've kind of been waiting for it to go on sale, and I haven't been close paying attention, but I'm sure it will at some
I
point.
I grabbed it for like $20.
Okay.
If you're looking for stuff to go on sale, I think the PlayStation Store is like one of the worst messes Sony has ever
Agreed.
made. Like it's untenable what they did. I'm going to recommend this to you and anyone listening. Go on YouTube, and there's this account called Poser Mobile, POZERMOBIL, and the dude just does breakdowns at like different price tiers.
Hmm.
He's just like, here's 10 bank. Like he only talks about games that have scored like at least a 70 on Metacritic, and then he has like, here's 15 great games under $5. Here's 20 great
Nice.
games under $10. Here's 25 great games under $30, and then he'll also do like, these are just straight up the best games that are available for sale regardless of price. And so like he uploads, I want to say like 2 to 3 videos every 3 days. Like he's super fast. I assume it's like AI narrated and shit like that, because everything's kind of generic and like some very common words are mispronounced. I'm like, okay, I don't love that, but like it is just like a great curated list. And he just released one 6 hours ago as of recording, 25 best PSN deals, huge deals up to 75% off, 13-minute long video, talks about 25 games. And I'm looking at it, I'm just like, oh shit, I didn't know System Shock 2 was on sale. And I saw this game called Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. I'm like, oh, this looks kind of cool. This looks like if Skyrim were a horror game and also kind of like Demon Souls. And I'm like, oh fuck, Beyond Good and Evil remastered, that's on sale. Like it's just great letting me know, because I get so bored looking at the games that are on sale on PSN. Like I get through like 3 rows, I'm like, okay dude, like you're doing too much.
Dude,
I can't keep up with all this.
it's an absolute drag, and the Nintendo store has the same problem. I feel like nobody really brings it up, but it's literally almost exactly the same, where you'll go into the deals and it's like, here's a few games you've heard of, Mario Party, whatever it may be, and then here's 45 games that released yesterday for 50 cents that were made in approximately an hour and a half by someone who is just trying to make money off of 8-year-olds who have access to their parents' credit cards.
1,000%. I never had that problem with Switch, just because I'm like, not gonna buy third-party games on Switch, but Switch 2, because it is more powerful. Like, I'm more tempted on Switch 2 than I ever was on Switch 1. But that said, I'm like, nah, I'm really just here for like shut up and play the hits. Kind of just want like the first-party stuff, and like only from publishers I've ever heard of. I almost wish you could do that, like filter by publisher.
By publisher, yeah, that would make sense. Like, it would be awesome if there was a specific like first-party filter feature.
First-party tab, and like that's usually like I just go check out like the top 20 most downloaded.
Yeah.
That's usually what I do, but then I'm like, there's got to be some other good stuff. Like, man, it'd be sick if I could just go like, okay, what Annapurna games are on sale? What Capcom games are on sale? Konami, like just go down the list and just like check it out that way. Like that's what I do when I'm shopping comics. Is like I only look like Marvel, DC, Image, Oni Press, like, and just do it like that. Because like if otherwise I'm just looking at 600 things and like my mind just glazes over and I want to die.
That's one thing I do like about Steam, and I think the other 3 shops, the Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo shops, all do this, but I think it's a little less pronounced when you open up Steam and you're on the storefront. A lot of these larger sales are like grouped by publisher. So like, at least on Steam recently, I've seen a lot, like there's been weeks of like Capcom sales, and they'll have like a marketing banner on the Steam front store page. It's like, Capcom sale, whatever it may be, and it'll have a picture of Monster Hunter and Resident Evil, and you click on it, and it's just all of Capcom's games on sale. I know, like, at least to my recollection, the others do that. Like, you can go on the PlayStation Store and it'll say, certain theming or whatever company has this sale push that they're trying to market.
Right.
But that's kind of like where I focus my attention. But just because of this issue of like, you go to the straight up on sale page, and it's like every freaking game you could imagine. But I like that idea of that YouTube channel you recommended. That I'm gonna have to check that out, because there's so many times now where I just don't really buy things on sale because it's so hard to find what I'm looking for or things I'm interested in.
That dude also breaks it down into chapters. So like, I already know this game. You can just swipe right ahead. It's great.
Nice. I love channels like that, though. This is a much different concept. But Andie and I are after last year, very like devout Costco members. So there's this guy that we watch called, I think his channel is called the Deals Guy, if I remember right. He's kind
All
of
right.
like, he's a relatively large channel, and he does videos on different stores. So like he does stuff on Aldi and Sam's Club and all these different stores and BJ's, like some of the larger box stores, and of course Costco is one of them. But he'll put out a video once a month, and it's literally just him in Costco, like identifying the new products that Costco has that month, their prices, and like if they were in Costco stores before, like how much they were priced prior and how much the prices changed.
Oh, sick.
So
Yeah, that's the best.
we'll literally just sit there and watch them. We're like, yeah, we don't really plan to buy any of this, but then randomly one thing will show up, and we're like, oh my god, next time we go to Costco, we got to get that. So I love that stuff. Like I don't know. There's something about it that like helps you identify things you want, without just like pulling the trigger randomly on things you see, I suppose.
It is really nice, and like that is one thing I do kind of miss. Like the digital storefront kind of took away the idea of like shopping.
Yeah.
Just because it's like right there, it's immediate. But just the idea of like this is the closest we can get to turning to the back of the box for a digital game.
Sure.
And so he always like, granted, this guy also like he lists the Metacritic score and then lists like the trophy difficulty and like time to platinum. So like I think he knows who his audience is, or it's just people looking for like a 5-hour platinum, a 10-hour platinum, whatever. But man, there's too much out there to think you can do it on your own. Like I hate to sound like you're defeated, but you kind of are, man. Like
Yeah.
they purposely like broke it and like made it kind of shitty.
Yeah. No, it's totally changed. And certainly now too, like, when it comes to in-store shopping, at least, we used to all look at like the weekly ads and stuff, like the physical papers. I mean, every store would have them like out there when you walk in, and that's like not even really a thing anymore either. So, so much has changed on that front. Just, I know we're talking about different things here, like online game purchases and like physical in-store purchases, but
I'm thinking too, like you mentioned Steam. I actually have like a really hard time shopping on Steam. Like
Yeah.
I'm always looking for shit to buy on my Steam Deck just to, like help justify it. Like I'm thrilled that like I have Halo portable, and like Portal and like Half-Life, like that's great.
Mhm.
But I'm actually like I can't really find like other cool games to like really dive into that are like kind of made, because I'm dumb. Like I don't know how to like optimize a game for Steam Deck. I tried to get like N64 Rogue Squadron,
Yeah.
like that PC port, to get that to run on Steam Deck. I'm like, this would be great. And I like spent an hour and a half and I got nowhere. It's like I need shit to be super simple.
Yeah. The Steam
And
store
I can't figure it out.
The Steam store's pretty hit or miss, to be honest with you. I think it's a little better than the others, but the thing that I found, and I was just pulling it up here, kind of see how it is today, but the thing I've found vital for me is the wish list functionality on Steam. I feel like anytime I see a game I'm interested in, I have to wish list it, because there's just so much on Steam compared to the other platforms that it can be very overwhelming. But the Steam Deck problem, it's kind of a different beast. I know there's like the Steam Deck verified thing that'll show you, but it's kind of hidden. I think unless you're browsing on a Steam Deck, it'll show it right away. But if you're like browsing on the computer or on the Steam app, it's like it doesn't just immediately pop up if it's verified for Steam Deck. I feel like they need to change that, especially with the Steam machine or whatever it's called. Steam, is it Steam machine? I don't even know what it's called. With that thing coming out, they need to make that stuff more prominent.
Oh man, we haven't even talked like how much are you rooting for the fucking AI bubble to burst so that Steam machine comes back down in price?
Dude, I know. It's my gut feeling. I mean, first off, it's obviously been delayed, like, because it was supposed to come out, relatively soon, and there's been nothing.
Yeah. It's supposed to be spring. It's supposed to be like around now.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't supposed to be spring 2026.
My gut feeling is like if it comes out now or comes out, this year and nothing changes with this economy,
it's
going to be like $1,000 at least, I think.
Well, that or it's just going to be like Steambox from 2013, where like no one's going to give a shit.
Which is sad.
I love that our group chat. We all have like pretty different political beliefs, and so that's why we like don't really talk about politics that much. And like, I know we all know the other people are good people who want what's best for the most amount of people. Like, I know that, so that's why I'm still in the group chat for everyone listening. It's not like anyone's like an asshole. But like the one political issue we talk about all the time that we are all 10,000% in agreement with is fucking data centers.
Yeah.
We're like, no, fucking burn that shit to the ground, man. Like Sam Altman can eat my whole ass. Fucking dickhead. Like that is like the one unifying thing, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Like things have gotten pretty out of control, and um, certainly like with hardware. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna make this Steam machine and make it a success, frankly, because of the pricing. And the same goes for the new Xbox, because it's essentially like the same concept. I mean, it's going to be a computer in console format, and that kind of came to me earlier when I was thinking about is it Project Helix is what they're calling it. um it's basically like an Xbox branded Steam machine, and I don't know, man. I don't, price wise, like forget the whole like console and what it will be. I don't know how either of those systems are going to work in this market.
I don't either. And like when everyone was talking about the Steam box back in 2013, 2014, they're like, yeah, but it runs Linux, so like it can be a computer. I'm like, the idea of this is to plug it into your TV. They're like, yeah, but it can handle like really intense like computational tasks. And I'm like, sick. I'm never gonna like open up Pro Logic on my couch. You know, like I'm
No.
not gonna edit something in Final Cut on my couch. Like that's like a desk job, you know? So like I don't really understand the idea of like, well, this could replace your computer. It's like a gaming computer hybrid. I'm like, cool. I don't want to check my email on my TV. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You
No.
know?
No, and people have said the same thing to a lesser extent about the Steam Deck, because there is a desktop mode on the Steam Deck, and when you switch to that mode, like it literally is just like being on a computer. Like you can go and access your files and go to Google Chrome and all that stuff. And I've seen so many people say they'll just take their Steam Deck and plug it into their dock and do a mouse and keyboard and use it as a computer. And I'm like, I mean, I guess like if you have no computer, that's fine, but
Yeah.
that's not. I don't think that's why anyone is buying that system. So
No, I hear you. Like, part of me thought about that. My friend does that just because they do emulation.
sure, and that
And so
makes
like
sense.
for them to like use that as their emulator and
Yeah.
like turn it into like a PlayStation 2 that they can
Sure.
also play like on the bus or something. And so like that was why like I bought a Steam Deck dock. One, because I got really into docks in the past year.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but like I got this nice little one for my Switch Lite where it's not actually that practical because like the alignment's off, but it's like a nice cute little
Nice.
mount basically that I can just plug the Switch Lite into, and then the USB-C cord goes into the back, but it's at like such a weird angle that it like kind of moves the mount if the Switch isn't in it. I'm like, all right, that's kind of bad design.
Yeah.
But like I got that. I grabbed like a PlayStation Vita dock, like a cradle,
Hell yeah.
and a Steam Deck one, and I keep looking for others because I'm like, oh, it's just cool. Like these are my trophies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that emulation is the only one. I also get like if you could only buy a Steam Deck or a PC, I get why you'd buy the Steam Deck because
sure.
it could also be a PC. So I do get that, but fucking A, man. When did everything start getting worse? And like I'm not talking about geopolitically because I feel like we can pinpoint that one. But like I don't know, I feel like it's just these companies are angry that they don't have their hands in my pockets all the time, and they're just doing everything they can to get their hands in my pockets all the time. And it's like, you actually made billions of dollars last year. Like, what's the fucking issue?
I've thought about this because obviously we've spiraled in this downward direction as far as like the consumerism of our industry goes, and the greed of Sony and Microsoft and these larger companies that are involved in this industry. I really think if you were to try and pinpoint kind of where this idea started and the whole concept of making more money and getting more out of consumers, I think this is my theory at least. This all started, the very first thing I could think of at least was the online pass. I think from that moment on, that's where things started to inch in this direction, because they were trying to pull, at that time, money away from GameStop and, third party resellers and put it in their pockets instead of these other companies. So it was a much smaller scale thing, but I think since then, like, you've seen, Nintendo dropping $80 Mario Kart games, and, just crazy stuff from other companies too. But I think that's like the first like really anti-consumer thing I can remember and I'm sure there's others, but that was pretty widespread. The online pass thing, like if you bought a game used, you couldn't play online if you didn't have that pass, and to buy that pass, it was like $10 or $15, whatever it may be on the store. If you didn't have it,
$9.99.
Yeah.
That sucks, because like I actually thought that was like a pretty elegant solution for it, where I'm like,
yeah,
it's $10. If you buy the game new, it's just included.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, like, that's fine. Like I did try to buy my games new, because like even back then, like there was just studio closure after studio closure.
Yeah.
Right. Like the people who made Dark Void, I think, closed like 3 months after they released that game, just because the game didn't sell well.
Yeah.
And I just like I think you saw the headlines where it's like Battlefield 6 was the highest selling Battlefield of all time. It outsold Call of Duty for the first time ever, and they still got hit with layoffs. And it's like,
it's insane.
Like, what do you actually have to do? And like this all, like, I think we've joked about this so many times, where like Square Enix sold like 7 million copies of Tomb Raider back in 2013, and they're like, oh, that was a disappointment. It's like, dude, that's really good. Like that is so good.
Especially at that time.
Oh, 1000%.
So yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just the first thing I can really think of. I think obviously the more like pronounced downward spiral in this direction began really like in the PS4, Xbox One generation. But if you really wanted to take it far back, I don't disagree with you. Like, it wasn't the most egregious thing in the world.
No, but it's funny because like I never thought of that as a negative, but like I totally forgot how pissed people were at the time about online passes.
Yeah,
but also it's usually for games that like people never. It's like, oh, BioShock 2.
Yes. Like, oh no, my Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Revelations or whatever.
Well, it's like, how much time were you really going to spend in the BioShock 2 multiplayer? Sounds like you just saved $10. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's gaming is in such a weird spot right now. Like obviously, I still love this hobby and love so many games that come out, but there's just a lot. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and I'm like recognizing things that as a child I didn't care about when I was gaming when I was younger. But I just feel like there's so much negative conversation surrounding this space now that I don't remember being there even 5-10 years ago. Like there's just so much happening from like a greed and corporate standpoint specifically.
Which is funny because you were there for Gamergate.
Yeah.
You stormed on January 6, 2014. You stormed the gate at Gamergate. Yeah. Were you like 11? How old were you when Gamergate happened?
In 2014, I would have been. Was it 2014? Was that when it was?
I think so.
That sounds.
I feel
right.
like I was like in Los Angeles. So.
18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Austin was not at the forefront.
No, I was not. I was absolutely not.
He's too busy playing Mario Kart Wii.
Actually, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So, was Mario Kart 8 out at that point? Because that's probably what I was playing. So,
it was not out yet.
Okay.
I'm bad.
I'm bad with Wii U dates in particular.
Oh, that and like Switch kind of like muddied the waters for sure.
Yeah.
I just remember buying like that game. I think I bought Mario Kart, GTA 5 on PlayStation 4, and like Far Cry 4 or Dragon Age Inquisition. I bought like 3 games when I had like no money. I was like, whatever, man, I'm spending this money now so I don't have to spend money later. And I was like, this is all I'm going to do for the next 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
We talked about my games and then we jumped into side tangent conversations. I'm really sorry, man. What about your games? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so I I can't remember. It's been about a month, I think, since we last recorded. I can't remember what I was playing at that time, to be honest with you.
Sure.
So I don't exactly remember when this started, but I did start Ghost of Yotei. I have not beaten it because too much came out per our earlier conversations.
Yeah.
But I played about 25 hours of it and put it down when Resident Evil dropped, which I'll talk about in a few minutes here. But I I got like decently far into the game. I'm probably about halfway through, and unfortunately, and the same thing happened with Tsushima for me. That game really triggers my OCD, and so I really feel like the Far Cry, Assassin's Creed pull with Ghost of Yotei, where I just have this need to do everything, which also means it's going to take me freaking forever to beat that game. But I've done like the first couple areas. I think I beat the first 2 or 3 of the Yotei 6, which are like the main bosses you fight throughout the game. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild style, where you go around to the different regions and find them. So I would estimate I'm probably about halfway through, and I think that game's fantastic. It's really, really good. It plays a lot better than Tsushima, even though I love Tsushima. I think it just like the gameplay excels in that game. And it's got some really cool like technical features in it too. And so I have an LG OLED VRR TV, variable refresh TV. And so there's a mode if you have one of those VRR TVs where you can actually play it in 40 FPS at a higher resolution than you would at 60 FPS. And so that's the mode I've been playing on, and it's so good. Like you feel, obviously it's not as fluid as 60 frames, but you still feel that fluidity more so than 30 frames at 40. And just visually, like you really can tell the resolution difference. It looks a lot better than the 60 frames mode. And so I've been enjoying that. I wish more games would use that feature.
Super cool.
Did you play Yotei at all? I don't think so, right?
I didn't actually. Okay. That is one of those games that like I bought the day it came out. Yeah. It's like I can't wait to sit down when I have time to play this, and then I just kept getting distracted.
Yeah.
Just kept getting every fucking day there was a new distraction.
It's a beautiful game, man. Whenever you have the time, you should definitely play it.
I want to, but like I said, I'm busy playing a 22-year-old Game Boy game.
Yeah, I understand. So that was kind of taking up my time, and then Resident Evil Requiem dropped 2 weeks ago now, a little over 2 weeks ago, and the first weekend I was really preoccupied with other stuff going on, but I finally had some time to dig into it. I'm probably about, if I had to guess, maybe 3/4 of the way through. I am, I guess I'm going to say it because it's been in literally every single trailer, but if you care about this, maybe skip forward like 10 seconds. I'm currently in Raccoon City. So that was one of the first things they showed in one of the initial trailers, is that you would return to Raccoon City, of course, the setting of Resident Evil 2 and 3. So I'm in that part now as Leon. And dude, this game is so freaking good. It is everything I wanted it to be and was unsure that it could be, because my fear going into all this, and I think a lot of people shared this sentiment, I was really worried about this back and forth between Grace and Leon and like how that would collide. There was I guess it's just like that PTSD from Resident Evil 6 and what they tried to do with that game and the different campaigns. This is not at all like this, or not at all like 6. Like it absolutely does work. You move from the like hyper horror elements as Grace, the first person stuff, into the more Resident Evil 4 style segments as Leon, and it really works well. It's nice because it kind of gives you a reprieve from both. You know, I think Grace's segments actually are, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to say otherwise. I think they're probably the scariest like stuff ever released as far as like the Resident Evil games go. Like those segments are really terrifying, and like more so than 7 or even the original Resident Evil, some of the more hardcore horror games in that series. there's some really wild stuff in those games where even I was like sitting here with my headphones on and I'm like, holy shit. And my heart is like racing, which games don't really do that to me. But there was a lot in this opening, 5 or 6 hours as Grace where just frankly, it was really terrifying. And the same goes for Leon.
She's the first person view, right?
She is. And you can change, like you can set it to whatever you want. But the way the devs want it, like canon wise, if quote unquote, is Grace first person, Leon third person. So there's a setting in the game. It'll actually, when you boot it up, it asks you, do you want to play the way the devs recommend, or do you want to set it manually? And so you can change it. But of course, I'm doing the recommended way. At least for my first playthrough. I'm sure I'll mess around with it in future playthroughs. But it's excellent, man. I absolutely love this game. It kind of feels like, I've seen a lot of people compare it to this. It kind of feels like I don't want to say conclusion, but like everything that this entire franchise has been building toward. Obviously, that's not what it is, because, 30 years ago, it's not like they were planning to release this game and do this story.
Yeah.
They've kind of written the story around the existing lore, but it just feels that way. Like it really feels like this, like Avengers Endgame level, like here's what all of this means type story. And it works really well. As someone who's been into the franchise since I was 10, it really, like, if you have a history with the lore and everything that happens in Resident Evil and have played a lot of these games, it really is stellar. So
I've never played a Resident Evil game. I have a problem with spookies. Should I start with the 2 remake? Should I start with 4? Should I start with 7?
My recommendation, I think, to anyone who's new to the franchise at this point in time, at least, would be to start with 2 remake. It's kind of like the heart and soul of the Resident Evil canon. It's like, that's Raccoon City. That's where, the movies, the live action movies, like the CGI movies, everything that you really ever hear about Resident Evil kind of stems from everything that happens in 2. Obviously 1 is important as well, but 2 is such a vital game from like just a history standpoint as well, like the history of the franchise. So I would definitely say start with 2. 3 remake is pretty good too. I know it gets a lot of hate because it's not quite as faithful as 2 was to the original. They changed some stuff in 3. They removed a couple sequences and made it a little shorter. So it's not like shot for shot, kind of like 2 remake is, but I still think it's good. And then 4 remake is really good as well. But if you I would say those are the ones to focus on. If you like those, then I would say go to 7 and 8. And from then on, of course, 9 as well. I haven't gotten far enough, so I don't exactly know. I don't think you need to have played 7 and 8 for 9. But I would say you need to have played 2 and 4 for 9. There's a lot of stuff that comes into play from those games. Okay. Yeah. So,
and in terms of spookies, how scary are these? Like, light on? Should I not play in my basement? But also, like, my upstairs PlayStation 5 is like next to a giant bay window. Is that scarier than a basement? Like, what do I do, Austin?
Well, like I said, 9. Just to talk about the current one, 9 I think is probably the Grace sections in particular. There are some sequences that are just absolutely horrifying. So that's probably like the height of Resident Evil scaries. But as far as like 2 and the rest of them, 2 is pretty intense. I wouldn't say it's terrifying, but I think 2 is more you feel tension. Like you feel tense, and a lot of the reason for that, this isn't really a spoiler because the game's 25 years old or however old, is because of Mr. X, right? Yeah. So you've got this guy that could show up at any time.
Yeah, see, don't worry about spoilers. Like I said, I've never played a Resident Evil game. Even I know about Mr. X.
Yeah,
fucking pyramid head of Resident Evil.
Yeah, and you don't even have to see him. Like you could literally just be in a room and you hear like footsteps, like stomping, coming your direction. You're like, holy shit, It's time to go.
Yep.
It is time to go.
Fuck this.
So-
I'm out. Yeah.
So it's more that. I mean, of course, there are some like really dark and atmospheric moments in 2. But I think the scariest stuff in 2 is that tension with Mr. X. And the same goes with 3. Nemesis isn't quite as foreboding as Mr. X is. He's supposed to be. In the original 3, he was like that, but in 3 Remake, he's a little more scripted, like not as quite as much going on there, so you can kind of expect him at times rather than unexpected with Mr. X. And then 4, I'm sorry, I'm going through the entire franchise. 4 is
please.
4 is very, I would almost say
Right?
it's more actiony, but it still has that tense feeling. I wouldn't say 4 is not a scary game to me. There's one section with the regenerators, which everyone knows. And I'll just leave that to your imagination. But
I can guess why they're annoying. Yeah.
a few specific enemies, and it's a short section that's maybe 30 to 45 minutes. That is pretty scary, but everything else in the game is very action oriented. It's just the tenseness of like a bunch of villagers like running up on you and you figuring out, how do I handle this? 7 is pretty intense. I'd say it's one of the more horrifying games as far as like the actual horror levels go, and then 8 feels more like 4. So 8 is I would say 4 and 8 are adjacent, where 8 is much more action oriented. So
All right, I might start it on baby mode, and
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like if you're looking to get into the franchise, I would the shortened version of everything that I just talked about is play 2. And hey, if you want to throw it on easy mode, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think just getting into the franchise is good. So
sweet.
Yeah. So that's really been my main focus. I did buy Pokopia, but I have not really played it yet, so I can't really comment on it.
How many hours has Andie put into it?
She has played more than me. She's played maybe a couple hours. I just got it yesterday, so we haven't had a ton of time. But I think I've been telling her this. I'm like, I think it's time to get you a Switch 2. So because there's some really cool multiplayer stuff in that game that I didn't know about. So one of the coolest things, and I love this, I wish more games would do this, is there's like a server built into the game, essentially, where you can go and make a world and put it in the server. And then if you give people the code to that world, they can access that world even when you're not playing. So like I could go and build my little world as I'm awake at, noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon after I get off work. Then when she gets home, she can, even though I'm asleep and not playing, she can go on and continue
Pick
building
up
on the same world. Yeah. So I like that quite a bit. So I'm like just trying to find the right time. Like yesterday she went to Costco to buy something and she was like, yeah, just put anything we need on the list. And I wrote them on our little Amazon like Alexa list, and I wrote Nintendo Switch 2 and Pokopia. So we'll see. I think probably within the next week or two we'll probably get her a Switch 2, which frankly will be good because we're going to Taiwan
soon, right?
in May, and I'm like, yeah, that's like a 20-hour flight back and forth. So it would be nice to both have Switch 2s and be able to play some games together.
For sure. So
I think that's all I've been playing, really, that I can think of. I do want to bring up, I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. I got to remember the name of it before I say it. You mentioned earlier you were trying to find games on Steam, and I know I mentioned this to you a couple months ago. Vital Shell is a game where you are essentially doing the same stuff that you're doing in Vampire Survivors, just on a small arena instead of like on a larger like open space kind of scope. And it's got like essentially Gundams that you're playing as. Like it's very
okay.
It's very what is the mech game that FromSoft makes? I can't even think of the
Armored Core.
Yeah, it's very Armored Core like, and you're going around, and it's kind of like a twin stick shooter mixed with like the Vampire Survivor style stuff, but it's all got PS1 era graphics.
You're saying so many awesome things,
dude.
right
You
now.
would love this game. I'm telling you. I sent it to you a while ago. I'm gonna send it to you again here. And it plays perfectly on Steam Deck. It's a little like scaled down compared to Vampire Survivors, so I'm not gonna tell you like it's as large of a game. But I played, and it's been a couple weeks since I played it, but there was a period of time where every night before I went to bed, I would just sit there in the bed on my Steam Deck playing this game. So Vital Shell, I would recommend highly to anyone that's interested in that. So, yeah, there. And it plays, again, perfectly on Steam Deck. It's really, really nice on Steam Deck. So that's really all I think I've been playing. I wanted to say just quickly, though, I have been re-listening to the Project Hail Mary audiobook. Of course, this is from Andy Weir, the same guy that wrote The Martian. And I read this book a few years ago now, and it's probably my favorite book of all time. I don't know what else would top it, to be honest with you. Just excellent sci-fi. And the movie starring Ryan Gosling and directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, and the cinematographer is the same guy that did Dune and Robert Pattinson's Batman. Just like some really good talent on this movie. It
just a lot to like about it.
Yeah, it comes out technically like Thursday or whenever that is, so 5 or 6 days from now. But like between 15 and 20 theaters in the country, we're doing a week early 70 millimeter IMAX screening, and the one near us is doing that. And I got a ticket, so we're going to see that movie tonight, which I'm so excited about.
Fucking sick. The Lego set you built was stunning.
Yes,
it
dude.
was so pretty.
Yeah, Andy and I sat there building that thing, and I was really impressed with how it turned out. It's a really nice build. So it's if you haven't seen it, it's the ship from the movie, and the movie ship is they kind of changed its design from the book. It does not quite match what was described in the book, but it's similar enough. And it's that ship, and it's got like mechanics in the Lego kit. So there's a little lever at the bottom. And if you twist it around, like the ship spins around on this kind of like dock that you build out of Legos. And there's actually a mechanism, not to explain the way the ship works, but I guess I have to for it to make sense. There's the crew compartment in the book, at least, is able to separate from the ship and then spin around the ship to create this like centrifuge motion. So like the engines are here, the crew compartment's spinning around it. And the idea of that is to give the crew compartment gravity while the ship is moving. And so the Lego kit actually recreates that. You can have the crew compartment jut out using the little lever thing. Like if you twist it enough, it shoots out of the back and twists just like through the Lego mechanism. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward so much to seeing this movie. I really can't wait. And based off the reviews, like it's getting stellar reviews, which I'm so happy about. So, I've never seen 70 millimeter like film versions before, so this will be my first one.
It's pretty cool. I've seen a couple and like a bunch of like 35 millimeter ones, and I didn't get it the first time I saw it, and then I like kept going back to like special like repertory screenings of shit, and then I kind of did get it. Where I'm just like, oh fuck, like the picture is, it just looks different than like the digital screen projections you're used to, which is really exciting. I don't think I've ever seen an IMAX one though.
Yeah,
so I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I am curious because I heard, and this could just be a rumor, but I heard that the Spider-Man trailer is supposedly going to be attached to this movie. But I don't know if they're going to do it in the early access. I'm wondering if it's only going to be like on the actual movie's release.
I don't know. I assume it would be just because it's like the same reel that they're going to show later.
That is true. So it was Spider-Man and there was something else. So we'll see. Guess I'll find out in a few hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, highly recommend. Even if you don't plan on seeing that movie, if you're even remotely interested in sci-fi at all, I would highly recommend that book. And the audiobook is probably like one of the best audiobooks ever released. The narration is excellent, but there's some really cool stuff they do with one of the characters that I've never seen done in a audiobook before. So highly recommend it.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I will check it out. You are not the only person I know who says it's their favorite book of all time. So
yeah, it's really good. I love The Martian. Like I read The Martian when it first came out and really enjoyed that movie and the book as well. But Project Hail Mary is like on a whole different level. So, yeah.
Before we go, 'cause it feels like a natural ending point. I want to make some comic recommendations for people, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely.
I think we talked about it before when Seth was on the show, but any of the Absolute books are just fucking excellent. It's basically like DC kind of restarted the universe almost, but with Darkseid as like the underlying current around the universe. So like there's just like a hinge of evil on the air at all times, and it's up to the heroes who rise up despite being in a shitty, broken universe, who rise up to the occasion. Absolute Batman's probably the best title, but I gotta be honest, whichever book I'm reading, like that's my favorite book. Like it just takes over every time I read it. So like Green Lantern, I just read that one most recently. I'm like, this has got to be the best one. And like I'm about to read Absolute Flash, and I'm just like, I assume I'm gonna be like, no, this is actually the best one. And same for Superman, same for Martian Manhunter, same for Wonder Woman. Like they're all just excellent books. Cannot recommend those enough. And besides that, Vertigo came back as a imprint from DC Comics, which is very exciting. I've read Bleeding Hearts 1 and 2, which is a zombie story that is very good, very entertaining. I've read End of Life, which feels like a 90s Vertigo book in the best of ways, where it is just like a shitty asshole hitman who like has like a burn notice on him basically from all these criminal enterprises. That book is extremely fun. I have not read The Death of Ezra Kane or like The Mystery of Ezra Kane. I can't remember what the book is called, but I am very excited to check it out. So if you're looking to read comics but don't want to get bogged down in decades worth of continuity, then please check out anything that says Vertigo in the upper left corner.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, when you guys brought those up, I guess it was last recording or maybe 2 recordings ago, I was really interested in those. That Absolute Batman book in particular sounds fantastic.
It's fucking sick, dude. It's so good.
So, well, very cool. Anything else you want to bring up, George, before we wrap it up here?
No. No, I'm excited to get Pocopia eventually.
All right, so I'm gonna bring my only thing I'm gonna bring up is I want to be held accountable. So I'm gonna say that I need to build this before our next recording, because my Metal Gear Rex, which is right there, took me 2 years to build, and I don't want this. And for audio listeners, Metal Gear Ray Kotobukiya kit that I just got this week, I do not want that to take me 2 years. So someone tell me that if I don't build that before our next recording, there will be consequences.
Are you an anxious person?
Yeah, I would say so.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'd say 90% of the Gundam models I've built were me trying to like stave off a panic attack. Because like I was really anxious. I was like, I just want to follow instructions. I want to like be told exactly what to do, and I want to focus on such minute, non-important details that I forget what's going on in my real life. So embrace your anxiety, man. Like use that as model building fuel. That's my advice.
Yeah, I need to. My other problem is too, like I know you understand certainly with the ones you have behind you, but this box is like humongous, and I just don't want this sitting around. Like I need to build this.
It is honestly like half the reason like I want to build kits is like I don't know if you can see that stack back there.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
There. Like I'm just so fucking sick of looking at it, and I like can't see some of my bookshelf, and I don't love that, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I was gonna do a bunch of things when we got off. I was like, oh, I gotta play Days Gone for like a trophy war thing. No, I think I'm gonna build a Gundam model just to clear out some more space
There you
because
go.
you're totally right.
There you go.
I'm gonna send you specifically a picture of my backlog.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
disgusting.
Oh, I have several. I've got, dude. I don't remember. Do you
Mine's
remember?
worse.
Oh,
Mine's
yours
a
is
little
definitely worse. Yours is definitely worse. I bought 2 Zoids Monster Hunter crossover kits like literally a year and a half ago. I have not opened either of those boxes. They're just sitting there. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I cut out Magic the Gathering. I'm glad I cut out like collectible card games, and like I've been buying the Star Wars Unlimited cards when those are like clearly on clearance, where it's like a booster box costs like $50. I'm like, yeah, I've had some wine. I can spend $50 on that. But like between comics, video games, and like honestly like TV,
yeah,
it's just like I
There's a
got
lot
too
to
much
keep
going
up
on
with.
I got too much in my life to do everything I want to do.
Yeah.
Bummer.
All right. Well, next episode, George, you will have built everything in your backlog, and I'll have built Metal Gear Ray. So
even in a month, I don't think there's enough time for me to build. I'm gonna send you a picture, and your fucking jaw will drop.
Okay. I'm excited. All right, everyone. Well, we will end it there. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back at some point soon enough. And yeah, just, I guess, enjoy Resident Evil and Monster Hunter stories and all these other games that are coming out. So Pokopia, etc. So.
Shout out Seth. Shout out Coach. Wish you guys could have been here.
That's right. So unfortunately, they were bitten by shrimp, and
it happens to the best of
really,
us.
Yeah, really. It really hurt them. So
the shrimp attack at 26. I'll be talking about this for years to come.
All right, everyone. We will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Smoochies.